Hi everyone. So I like creepypastas and I like writing them and listening. My cat was in my way. I'm sorry. So I started reading some of the stuff that I wrote. Cat, your tail is in my way. So let's just begin. First one is called Wind Up Doll. Hello, my name is Melody and I'm a life-size doll for my creator's daughter. I can talk and sing. You can wind me up so I can walk also. My creator made me for his daughter after his wife died. He made me look exactly like his dead wife. My creator's daughter used to play with me all the time, but now she's a little too old to play with dolls now. Yeah. She spends her time putting on makeup and talking to boys. I miss playing with her. I now watch her grow up while I spend my time in the closet collecting dust. It's 2 weeks before my creator's daughter's 18th birthday. My creator... Cat, you're in my way. I'm trying to read. Stop. Okay. Yeah, I love you. Just stop. My creator is being extremely strict and abusive to his daughter, both physically and mentally. My creator brought his daughter down to the basement where he made me. I watched as my creator put the same same wind mechanism into his daughter. Her screams were blood curdling that something hit me. My creator wasn't my creator. He was my husband, and he killed me. And now he's making my daughter into one of his sick wind-up dolls too. I really like that one. That's not a bad one. Alright. Next one I wrote because I was looking at my wall and it looked like there was an eye in the wall. So this one's called Eye in the Wall. There's something in my wall. It's watching me. Honestly, I didn't notice it at first. Then I noticed what looked like a giant eye in the wall. At first I thought it was just my imagination. But then I swore I saw the eye blink. I laughed at the thought, then went on with my life. It's been a week since I noticed the eye. I don't like the feeling of someone watching me. I started to get paranoid. The eye is now two eyes. At first, the eyes just looked like they were drawn or painted on the wall, but now they look more realistic. Curious, I walked over to the eyes and poked one. It was squishy like a real eye. I quickly wiped my finger on my jeans. I told my neighbor about the eye in the wall. I told my neighbor I can't speak. I told my neighbor about the eyes in the wall. They just looked at me like I was crazy. I told them if they didn't believe me, they can come over and see it for themselves. I showed them the eyes where they were, but the neighbors said they didn't see anything. Only I could see the eyes in the wall that were always watching me. It's a little not that good. And the next one is called Sarah. I don't remember writing this, but I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of my baby crying. My baby, I can't even say the first fucking hand time. Okay. I woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of my baby girl crying. When I got to my girl's room, I saw a figure of a woman rocking my baby in their arms. Put my baby down and get out of my house before I call the cops, I said. Hello, Jim. She's so cute. What's her name? I bet it's something like Isabel, the woman said in a voice that I haven't heard in years. Sarah, is that you? I thought you died when your house burned down, I said. Sarah turned around and gave me a warm smile. She looked like a rotten corpse. Her skin was different shades of gray and green, with mixtures of red and purple. Her once long curly hair was now just grew in various places, leaving a good portion of her head bald. Her face was sunken in, along with her eyes. She moved closer to me, twitching so she wouldn't break any of her bones in her fragile body. Hi. No, honestly, I wish I did die, Sarah said. Why? Aren't you glad you're still alive, I asked. Yeah, being locked in a cold basement, barely getting anything to eat, 'cause my dad was too ashamed that he was the reason why I looked like some kind of monster. If it wasn't for him falling asleep with a cigarette, I would probably have some sanity left, Sarah said. I'm sorry, I said. I don't know what else to say. I've been so alone, with no one to keep me company. You used to keep me company. I want your company forever. Just you and me, Sarah said. When she said the last sentence, it shouldn't say when she said the last sentence, it sent shivers down my spine. Sarah looked down at the baby and back at me with a twisted smile. Where do you keep your knives, Sarah? Knives? Sarah asked. I didn't say anything. Sarah then laughed and then hit her head. Duh, they're in the kitchen. Of course. Stupid question, Sarah said. Why do you need a knife? I asked. So I can free your little girl, Sarah said. I quickly snatched my baby from her and held my baby close. Get out, I yelled. I thought you would understood. I thought you just loved me, Sarah said. I did love you, but I'm not going to let you kill the only last thing I have of my true love. I said. I'm not killing her. I'm setting her free, Sarah said, moving closer to me. You need help. I'm going to get you help, I said. No, you're not. You're just going to lock me away again, Sarah said, moving closer to me. I quickly ran in the house. It's been 5 years. My little girl and I moved far away from our house and neighborhood, and I was no longer worried about Sarah. I watched my little girl sit on the porch. I noticed she was eating a cookie. I knew, in fact, that I didn't give her that cookie, and there was no way she could reach the cookie jar. I quickly ran out to the porch. Where did you get that cookie? I asked. Sarah, she said. Sarah, she said that this cookie was to die for, my little girl said. I quickly made my little girl spit up the cookie. I told her to never take anything from Sarah. My little girl nodded and ran out to play. You want any fun? Sarah said. Stay away from her, I barked. The cookie was harmless. It's the jello you should be concerned about, Sarah said, then disappeared. Jello that I've been feeding my daughter as a snack every night this week. I threw away the rest of the jello, but slowly my little girl became bedridden. My little girl died a few days later. I told you I was going to set her free. Now it's just going to be you and me, Sarah said, hugging behind me as I buried my little girl. I kind of like that one. That one's kind of like, oh, she's fucking crazy, but she loves him. I am a weird person like that. It's like, oh, she's crazy, but she loves him. And I think, let's see. I have one that's like supposed to be like a Jeff the Killer one. So I'm gonna read that one. It's called The Last Picture on My Fiance's Camera. I can speak. Actually, I'm not gonna read that. I'm gonna read that on another one. Maybe. I don't know. I don't really like this one. Okay, I'm gonna read. Before I tell you what I saw on my fiance's camera, I should tell you a little bit about my fiance. My fiance will only take pictures of haunted or abandoned places. I never saw any of the pictures she took. Then she disappeared. She told me that she was going to an abandoned house just outside of town and would be back at 6 in the morning. I had a bad feeling that night. I should have told her not to go, but I believed that my fiance could take care of herself and would come home at 6. She always came home. So, the next morning when I woke up at 7 a.m., I noticed she didn't come home. I called her phone a few times. Each time went straight to voicemail. I called into work and told my boss that my fiance never came home and I wasn't coming in today. Looking for me, my boss didn't need me and told me that my fiance was more important than paperwork. I drove down to the police station and told a young officer that looked like he just got out of the police academy that my fiance was missing. I'm sorry, sir. We have to wait at least 24 hours to report missing person. Considering that you just, considering that I can't speak English and I'm studying it. It's fucking great. Considering that you told me that she's 23 years old, she can come and go as she pleases. If she doesn't come back tomorrow, you can report a missing person report. The young officer said, "Please just file the report. She could be hurt," I said, begging. An older gentleman, who was probably in his late 30s or early 40s, came into the room. "Seriously, Jim? His girlfriend is missing. Now, son, where do you say her last location was?" the older gentleman asked. "She's my fiancée. She went out of town to take pictures of this abandoned house last night," I said, pulling out the paper with the address of the house. Ew, excuse me. Then handing it to the older gentleman. Two officers looked at the paper, then at each other, then back at me. "Son, there was a murder in that town a week ago. They never caught the killer. So I'm just warning you that your fiance might not be alive," the older gentleman said. "You have any clues who the sicker is, I guess?" "Have you ever heard of Jeff the Killer?" Jim asked. "You mean that spooky noodle character? You think that my fiance might be killed by a fictional character?" I asked, a little ticked off. "Creepypasta," Jim said, correcting me. "Son, Jeff is real. A few comments of mine from our police stations have been looking for Jeff for years now. Hell, I've been personally looking for the son of a bitch since the night he decided to slaughter my wife and unborn child 10 years ago." The older gentleman said, "I'm sorry about your wife and child," I said. "Thank you, but we should go. There's a slim chance your fiance might still be alive." The older gentleman said, "Went to the abandoned house. The two cops told me to wait outside, so I waited till they came out. The older gentleman came here. I can't speak English." The older gentleman came to me holding my fiance's camera. "Does this belong to your fiancée?" the older gentleman asked. "Yes, that's hers." "Is she alive?" "Where is she?" I asked. "She's not here, but the amount of blood saw in the house, she might be dead." "Sorry, man," Jim said. I fell to my knees crying. The older gentleman bent down from me. "She might have escaped and made it. We don't know that she's actually dead," the older gentleman said. "We had a search party for a couple months. Since there was no clues on where she breathed, the search was dropped. Today I should have been marrying my fiance, not having a funeral for an empty casket. I drank myself into a whiskey coma. When I finally decided that I had enough, I walked toward my bedroom. I noticed that the candle was on her desk. I don't remember putting it there. A part of me wanted to just smash the camera into a million pieces, but I decided to finally take a look at the pictures my fiance took. I went through pictures of empty houses, graveyards, white orbs, and stuff like that. It wasn't until I noticed the outside of the abandoned house she was until I noticed the outside of the abandoned house that she was. At first, the pictures were just of an empty house. Next picture she probably took while she was being attacked due to the unclarity of what they were supposed to be. The last picture was of my fiancée, sitting on the ground with a thick line of blood across her neck. One of her eyes dangling out of her eye socket while her brown hair covered her face as her head hanged. I noticed that behind her, in red letters, was the words "Good sleep." I stopped as I continued to look at my dead fiancée. Through the tears, I swore I saw her dead body. I swore I saw her head move. I swore I saw her head slowly move up when she was looking directly at me. I heard the words "Good sleep." My last sight was of the dead a picture of my dead fiance as my breath slowed. So that's it. I might read some more of my stories. I'm not really sure. So, bye guys.